can you set yourself up for success when you're first starting up in business, especially if you've got ADHD? I'm going to share the 7 essential tasks that I think you must do to give yourself the very best foundations for your business. Hi, I'm Bev. I'm a coach and a mentor, and I call myself an accidental entrepreneur, and I have ADHD. I also help women with ADHD to start their business or grow their business to give them the life they love on their terms. You know, women with ADHD possess a unique set of qualities that can make them exceptional entrepreneurs. They often have a high level of curiosity, creativity, out-of-the-box thinking, and a willingness to take risks. But challenges around things like organisation and planning, time management, avoiding the boring stuff, it means that we're missing some of the fundamental, but usually pretty boring, essentials that need to happen when we first set up a business. They either get overlooked or they get forgotten about. In this video, I want to share 7 essential things that I think you must think about when you're first starting in business, regardless actually whether you're a woman or if you have ADHD. These 7 essentials apply to everyone. But for those of us with ADHD, we're maybe a bit less organised or less inclined to actually do these hugely important but not always very interesting tasks. And stick around because I'm also going to be sharing a bonus tip at the end that could potentially save you hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever currency. Okay, number 1. Before you even think about starting your business, you need to get clear on who your business is going to serve and who you want to help. This is about defining your niche. Now you need to spend some time getting clear on the specific service or product that you want to offer. This might be anything from copywriting or web development to graphic design or media management. It could be coaching or training or consultancy, or it could be product based, or maybe you want to set up a subscription box service. It really doesn't matter. You need to know where you're going to be selling your business or service, your products, and you need to do that by focusing on a niche. By focusing on a niche, you can develop a unique value proposition and differentiate yourself from the competition out there. When choosing your niche, it's important that you consider factors such as, is there demand for the service or product that you're offering? Do people actually want what you've got to give them? Think about the level of competition in the market. Are other people already doing what you're doing? Now, this isn't always a bad thing. If they are out there, it shows there's demand. If they're not, maybe you found a great gap in the market, but I would certainly explore that as to why there's nobody else doing it. But equally, if there is competition out there, it means that you're possibly choosing a market where it might be a little bit harder to be seen. Now, you might also want to think about the potential for growth and profitability. At the end of the day, your business needs to turn a profit if it's going to be successful and it's going to survive. So you also need to think about your ideal client and the specific pain points or challenges that they are facing and how your service or your product can help solve those problems. Now, sometimes you won't solve an obvious pain point. For example, your offer might be a luxury item or a nice to have. But remember, even nice to have products solve a problem in some way. Either it meets the client's need for comfort, convenience, fun, entertainment, or just status. So once you've identified your niche, consider if you have any skills gaps that you might need to fill to get you started. Will you need to build your skills and expertise in that area? And you're going to want to continue to stay up to date with industry trends and best practices. So this might mean thinking about taking a course or attending conferences or seeking mentorship from an experienced professional in your field. Equally, consider if you're fully equipped right now with all of the skills, the knowledge and the credentials you need to get started, go for it. don't fall into the trap of using a lack of certificates or qualifications as an excuse because you don't feel quite ready. Because I tell you, that perfectionism shit will stop you in your tracks before you even get started. So basically, choosing a niche is, in my opinion, the most important first step when it comes to starting a business. By focusing on your area of expertise and providing a unique value to your clients, you'll establish yourself as a trusted and in-demand player in your market. And of course, this doesn't mean that your niche can't change over time, but at the very start, it helps you to establish yourself as an expert in your field. No one wants a general practitioner carrying out their brain surgery. So be a specialist right at the beginning. Okay, number 2, decide on your business structure. Will you be a sole trader, a limited company, or a limited partnership if you're planning on starting up with someone else? Once you're clear on the structure you want to go down, you'll need to register your business accordingly. Now, in the UK, starting a business involves several steps related to business structure and registration, and I'm guessing it's the same wherever in the world you are, but you probably need to check out the particulars for your country. First of all, you're going to need to decide on the legal structure of your business, and as I've already said, in the UK, the most common options are sole trader and a limited company. Now, as a sole trader, you will run your business as an individual and you'll be personally responsible for any debts or liabilities. In effect, your business and you are one and the same thing. As a limited company, you will have greater legal protection for your personal assets, but you will be subject to more regulation and tax requirements, and it's generally going to cost more to get set up, and your accountancy fees are going to be higher. But what this means is you and your business are completely separate entities. So whatever happens to your business won't impact your personal assets. So once you've decided on your business structure, you'll need to register your business with the relevant authorities. Now, if you're a sole trader in the UK, you'll need to register with HMRC, His Majesty's, Revenue and Customs, for self-assessment tax purposes. This involves obtaining a unique taxpayer reference or a UTR number and registering for the self-assessment system. This means you'll do a tax return every year. If you decide to set up as a limited company, you'll need to register your business with Companies House. And this involves choosing a company name, appointing directors and a company secretary if that's applicable, and filing the necessary incorporation documents. Now, I would suggest you get your accountant to do this for you to make sure you've ticked all of the boxes. But in addition to registering your business with the relevant authorities, you might also need to think about obtaining any licenses or permits if they're relevant in the particular industry that you're going into. This might include things like professional certificates, health and safety certificates, or permits for operating certain types of equipment. Now, obviously, as I've said, these steps relate to the UK, but it's likely to be similar in your country wherever you are in the world. There'll be processes that you need to follow. So definitely check out the specific requirements related to things like tax, regulation and licensing in the country that you'll be doing business from. Okay, number 3, establishing your brand. Now this is where you start to let those fabulous ADHD creative juices flow. Establishing a strong brand identity is an essential step for anyone looking to build a successful business right from the outset. Your brand is what sets you apart from your competitors, and it communicates your unique value proposition to potential clients. The first step in creating a brand identity is to develop a clear understanding of your target audience and the specific needs and pain points that they have, because this will help you to identify the key messages and visual elements that will resonate with your ideal clients. So once you've got a clear idea of your target audience, go back to the niche and the messaging that you want to put out there, you can start developing the visual elements of your brand identity. And this might include things like creating a logo that reflects your unique style and values, choosing a colour palette that reinforces your brand messaging, and designing business cards and literature and other marketing materials that are consistent with your overall brand identity. But your brand is so much more than just the visual elements. Your brand identity should also include a clear and compelling value proposition that sets you apart from your competitors. This is going to involve things like identifying your specific skills or experience that you bring to the table and communicating these strengths in a way that resonates with your clients and your target audience. Your brand needs to reflect what you want people to say about you when you're not there. It's how you want to put your personality and your values out there, how you want them to be interpreted by your clients. If your brand isn't congruent with how you want to be known, you're likely to find it much harder to build trust with your target market, and that is going to affect your sales. Finally, it's really important to ensure that your brand identity is consistent across all touch points, including your website, your social media, any other marketing materials you create. It needs to be the same all the way across, because this will also help to build trust and position you as a reliable, trustworthy person to work with and show that you've got a cohesive, well thought out business. Okay, number 4, you need to set your prices. And I know this is a tricky one because for many of us with ADHD, we hate anything to do with money or finances. But you can't run a business if you don't get paid enough to cover your costs and still end up with a profit. So you're going to need to determine your hourly or project rates, and that's going to be based on things like industry standards, your level of expertise, your level of experience, and the value that you provide to your clients. Now, this isn't always easy, and to some extent your pricing is going to be a bit gut-led. Trust your intuition on this, but don't rely on it without also doing some market and competitor research. To determine your rates, start by researching the industry standards for your specific niche. Look at what other businesses or freelancers with the same or similar skills and experience, what are they charging, and consider how your own rates compare to theirs. Now, that's not to say you have to be exactly the same as theirs, but if you're way out, it's not going to necessarily be a good thing. So you want to base your pricing around what people are currently apparently willing to pay. It isn't an exact science. It does take a little bit of trial and error and a bit of intuition, but you will get there over time. And then you need to think about your level of expertise and your level of experience and the specific skills that you bring to the table. If you've got a high level of experience and specialised skills, you might be able to start charging a premium rate for your services straight out of the gate. Finally, consider the value that you provide for your clients. This includes not just the quality of your work, but also how easy you are to work with. Factors like your reliability, your responsiveness, and your ability to deliver projects on time and on budget. And if you can demonstrate that you consistently provide exceptional value to your clients, you might be able to charge higher rates than your competitors. So remember that setting your rates is not a one and done process. As you gain more experience and you gain more confidence, as you build your reputation in your chosen niche, you'll be able to adjust your prices, possibly upwards, to reflect your increasing value to your clients. And by regularly reviewing and updating your rates, you can ensure that you are charging a fair and competitive price for your services, while also not forgetting to earn an income that you need to support you and your business. Now, don't forget to factor in your time when you're setting your pricing, especially if you're making the product or if you're delivering training or consultancy of some sort. You're likely to have to spend time researching, planning and preparing your content, in addition to the time that you'll spend actually delivering that content. So you might want to charge an hourly rate maybe for the preparation time based on the actual hours that you're working in preparing, and then a value-based rate for the actual training delivery. What value is your client getting from that content? Or you could quote for the overall project cost, where basically you factor in all of the costs you'll incur and you give a fixed price. If you're in a service-based niche, such as coaching, consulting or training, don't assume either that being the cheapest will get you the work. Value is subjective. And if you underprice yourself, you may be perceived as being of lower value. I've known very many companies reject quotes from very competent coaches because they were too cheap. The perception being they must be cheap for a reason. Okay, number 5, build a strong portfolio. Your portfolio serves as a showcase of your skills, your experience, and your successes. It can help you stand out to your potential clients. So choose your best work, choose projects that demonstrate your skills and your experience in your chosen niche, and highlight your successes and your achievements. Once you've chosen your best work, organise your portfolio in a way that makes sense to your clients. So for example, if you're a web developer, you might want to organise your portfolio by type of project or by the type of technology that you used. In addition to showcasing your work, provide a context for each project. So explain what were the client's goals and challenges and how did you address them. This helps potential clients to understand your approach and your expertise, and it's important to keep your portfolio as up to date as you can with your latest work. Add new projects regularly to showcase your ongoing skills and your growing experience. And share testimonials. So if you've received positive feedback from clients, include these testimonials in your portfolio. They provide valuable social proof and they help build your credibility as a coach or a consultant or whatever. But you might be asking, what if I'm a coach and I've not yet worked with paying clients? Well, there are still ways to create a coaching portfolio that showcases your skills and your expertise. You might want to consider offering free coaching sessions to friends, family or acquaintances in exchange for their feedback and for permission to use their experience as a case study. Now, make sure that you agree that the deal here is that they get your free coaching, but the exchange is a testimonial that you can share with future clients and use in your marketing, and that needs to be at the absolute minimum. You might also want to consider writing articles or blog posts on topics related to coaching, sharing your expertise and your insights with others, because this can help again to establish you as an authority in your niche, and it provides additional content for your portfolio. So remember, the key is to demonstrate your value and show potential clients what they can expect from working with you. Okay. Tip number 6, we are getting there. Now you're legal, you're clear on who you're serving, you know what you're selling, and you've got your pricing strategy sorted. You need to start thinking about marketing your services and getting yourself out there. So once you've defined your target audience, create a marketing plan that outlines your goals, your strategies, and your tactics for reaching potential clients. Now, please, don't freak out here. This doesn't have to be complex. Just think about where you're going to get yourself seen. You're going to want to include a mix of online and offline marketing activities. Things like social media marketing, email marketing, networking events, even paid advertising. Build your online presence, because in today's digital world, having a strong presence online is absolutely crucial for reaching potential clients, even if you've got an offline business. Create a professional website, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Even just a simple landing page that showcases your brand, your portfolio, and the services that you offer That will do to start with. Use social media platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter and Instagram to connect with potential clients and to share your expertise. And you don't want to think about attending networking events in your industry or niche so you can connect with potential clients and other professionals in your field, because this again can help you to build not only relationships, but it'll establish your credibility and hopefully it can generate some referrals. And I absolutely know that networking can feel horrible, but the more you do it, the better you get. And the truth is, they do say your network equals your net worth. So don't underestimate the need for a strong business network around you. You also might want to consider offering free consultations to potential clients as a way to introduce yourself, and it helps you to understand their needs and also showcases your expertise. This can help build trust and credibility with potential clients, and it increases the likelihood of them hiring you for their services. And speaking at events or offering to speak for free can be a great way to get visibility for your business, especially if you're a coach or a consultant. Here are some tips for getting started with public speaking, because I know it can be terrifying. But look for events in your industry or niche where your target audience is likely to be in attendance. This could be conferences, meetups, networking events, webinars, workshops. Then pitch yourself as a speaker. Reach out to the event organisers and pitch yourself as a potential speaker for their event. Highlight your expertise and your experience, and also include how you can add value to their audience. And be sure to tailor your pitch to the specific event and the specific audience. Once you've been accepted as a speaker, you've got to prepare your presentation and make sure it's absolutely relevant, that it's engaging and that it provides value for the audience. Always be value-led first, rather than going in with the expectation of I'm going to stand up and sell. Go there with the expectation of I'm going to add value to the audience. That will get you far more trust and likely far more business than standing on the stage using it as an opportunity just to sell. Okay, and then you need to promote your speaking engagement. So once you're scheduled to speak, promote the heck out of it. Everywhere and anywhere, on your website, social media, your email list, other people's email lists if you can. This will all help raise awareness about you, your brand, and it will potentially attract new clients. And then follow up with attendees. After your presentation, make sure you try and connect with people and follow up with them, because this will help you to stay top of mind, again, potentially to generate new business after the event. So don't underestimate that speaking at events or offering to speak for free can be a really great way to get you visible. It's important to focus on events and audiences that are relevant to your niche and target audience, but just getting out there and getting better at public speaking will absolutely help. The trick with marketing is you have to be consistent, persistent, and focused on providing value for your client. Okay, last one, number 7, and we are back to money. And even worse than setting your pricing strategy, you've got to get your finances right from the get-go. And I know keeping a handle on the books is the most boring thing in the world, but believe me, bizarre as it is, there are real people out there who actually honestly love doing this stuff. And when you find a good one, hang on to them, because they are gold dust. Personally, I'd always hire a good bookkeeper at the very least, but ideally find an accountant who offers a whole service including bookkeeping, end of year accounts, tax, etc. However you do choose, whether you do it yourself or get somebody else in, you're going to need some sort of system for tracking your income and your expenses and for keeping accurate records for tax purposes. This is why, for those of us with ADHD, I strongly suggest outsourcing to someone who can do this for you. But at the very least, you will need to track your expenses. And there are lots of bookkeeping systems available, online digital systems, things like QuickBooks and FreshBooks, and the one that I use and I prefer is Xero. Or you can use a spreadsheet, or even go back to a paper-based system if that's your thing. But choose a system that works for you, that you'll consistently keep on top of, and that meets your business needs. And you're going to want to separate your business and your personal expenses. It's really important to keep your business and your personal spending separate to make accounting and tax reporting so much easier. So open a separate bank account and have a separate credit card for your business and use them exclusively for business expenses. Now, in the UK, you don't need an actual business bank account if you're a sole trader, but you will if you're a limited company. And I would suggest having a business bank account either way. I love Starling Bank, but there are lots of other options available. So find one that gives you everything you need, but make sure it's separate from your personal account. You'll need to keep track of all your income and your expenses. That means invoices, receipts, bank statements, and this will absolutely make it easier when it comes to preparing your tax return. It'll help you with monitoring your cash flow, and it'll make making decisions, informed decisions for your business so much easier. You're also going to need to set aside money for taxes. As a business owner, you're responsible for paying your own income tax, and if you choose to incorporate your business, you'll also need to pay corporation tax. So make sure you set aside a portion of your income each month to cover these so you don't get any nasty surprises at the end of the year. Now, personally, I would suggest you consult with a tax professional if you're not sure about the tax laws in your particular country or state, and you're not sure maybe how much you need to set aside or how to report your income and expenses, because they can help ensure that you comply with all of the tax laws, and they can also help to sort of maximise your deductions and reduce the amount that you're having to pay in taxes. So while it might be not the most interesting or exciting of jobs, and it's probably not going to spike that dopamine in our interest-driven brains, it's massively important. You have to track your expenses, you have to track your income. It's essential if you want to run a successful business. It's going to help you stay organised, it's going to save you time, it's going to reduce your stress levels when it comes to tax time, and you'll know at any time how much you've got in your business that you can spend. And we need to be realistic. Although barriers for entry when it comes to starting a business these days are lower than they've probably ever been, especially if you're a digital or online business, you'll still need some money to get started for things like software and marketing costs. And you will also need money to live on, especially if you're going all in, because you're going to need to ensure you've got some form of income to cover your living expenses for at least the first 3 to 6 months while you're establishing yourself and getting some revenue coming in. Whew, okay. So I know that that sounds like a lot and it can feel really daunting, but it's essential really that you don't skip any of these steps if you want to ensure that your business is set up for success and you're not going to get hit with any nasty surprises further down the line. And to help you, I've created a simple workbook to help you work through each of these 7 tasks, which you can download from the comments and also while you're down there. If you found this video helpful, I'd love you to give it a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss out on future videos, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell to make sure that you get notified when I publish new content. Okay, well that wasn't great. I ran out of battery on my camera and I had to come back and redo this when my battery charged. What I should have done was had the insurance of a second battery as a backup so I wouldn't have to run out. And that actually brings me brilliantly onto my bonus tip. Now, I did promise you a bonus tip that could potentially save you shed loads of money in the long run, and that is about getting business insurance. Now, Not all businesses are obliged to have insurance, but it's definitely not something to be overlooked. And if you're working with corporate clients, I would say it's essential. Without insurance, your business can be at risk. And if you're a sole trader where you are your business, that potentially means your house and your possessions too. Now, there are several types of business insurance that you might want to consider. Firstly, general liability insurance. Now, this is generally a given. It protects against accidents, property damage, bodily injury, and most clients will expect you to have, at a minimum, general liability insurance. Next, we've got professional indemnity insurance, and this covers for things like errors or omissions made by you, your company, or if you've got them, your employees. Now, indemnity insurance is a kind of insurance that provides protection against losses that you might incur from legal action or claims made against you by a third party. And this type of insurance is often used by professionals or businesses that want to protect against claims of negligence and that sort of thing. Now, if your business has a property or it has expensive equipment, you might want to consider business insurance that provides cover for the physical assets of your business. This can include things like buildings, equipment, inventory, furniture, and other property owned by your business. Business property insurance is designed to protect you against financial losses resulting from things like theft, vandalism, fire, and natural causes, natural disasters. And finally, you might want to think about loss of earnings insurance, also known as business interruption insurance. This provides cover for lost income and extra expenses that you might incur due to an unexpected event. This can include things like covering you for loss of profits, ongoing expenses such as rent or salaries, and also additional costs that you might incur in getting your business back up and running. Thing with insurance is you hope you're never going to need it, but if you haven't got it, chances are at some point you will need it, and it can cost you ridiculous amounts of money. So for the cost of the premiums, it's definitely worth considering getting good insurance right from the outset. Okay, there you go. 7 essentials and one highly advisable thing that I believe you must consider if you're starting your first new business adventure. And if you want to take advantage of the brilliant opportunity that public speaking can bring to your business, but you need to brush up on your speaking skills or feel a little bit more confident, then check out this video where I'm sharing my 10 top tips for giving a talk that will wow your audience and have them desperate to find out more about how they can work with you. Talk to you soon.